Alright guys, so before we actually get into this video, I do need to mention something real quickly. I actually recorded this video before the announcement of the brand new map, Revontuli Coast, so while I was recording this, I was kind of talking about how there was rumored to be a new waterfowl map, but we weren't actually sure what it was going to be. By the time this is going up, we've already had the announcement, so there's going to be a few things in this video that don't make sense, so just know that I did record this before the map was announced, so things are going to sound a bit off at times. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump into the video. What is one of the best and most criminally underused weapons in the hunter call of the wild? Well, it's the drilling rifle. This is actually a pretty incredible rifle, and we're going to show off why today, because this thing, I just don't understand why it isn't used as much as a lot of other guns, because this thing does have immense versatility and actually has a decent amount of power behind it as well. So we're going to be taking a look at everything to do with this thing today, and just seeing if we can find ourselves some cool trophies to take down with it as well. Now, if you don't already own this weapon, you may be wondering how you can acquire it, and you can get it in Weapon Pack 2, which I believe is a $3.99 DLC on all platforms. Now, you can get it for cheaper during sales, so if you're not wanting to shell out the full $4, then I would definitely recommend waiting for a sale, or if you're on PC or Xbox, you can probably get the key for it on a website like G2A, or pretty much any website that sells the keys for the games and DLCs. So that would be another option. I believe it is much easier to get for cheaper on PC than it is on Xbox. And unfortunately, PlayStation just does not have a way to get like codes for DLC. So sadly, PlayStation players are once again out of luck there. But you guys still can get it straight from the PlayStation Store for whatever price it may be at the time. But let's go ahead and take a look at this rifle. So basically, with this thing, you have two options. You can either shoot the single shot 9.3 round out of it, or if you hold down R on PC, and I don't exactly know what button it would be on console, but whatever your reload button is, if you hold that down, it will switch to the two shotgun barrels, and this is why this gun is so useful. You can quickly on the fly just swap to shotgun or 9.3, and it is incredibly useful. This thing can cover classes from 1 all the way up to class 9, and that is one of the reasons why it is the ultimate rifle for searching a new map whenever they release. Because you get the option to carry one single weapon and have plenty of room for your tents, your tripods, whatever you want to have in your inventory that takes up a lot of space. And I think this is going to especially be useful whenever this rumored waterfowl map comes out, because if there is going to be a waterfowl focused map, and we're also going to be getting the waterfowl rework, decoys are going to be a huge part of that update, I feel, because in the Hunter Classic, decoys are an incredibly important part of your waterfowl hunting, and if the system in Call of the Wild is being overhauled, I think those are going to become a lot more useful. Therefore, it's going to take up more of your inventory space whenever you're setting up new decoy setups. So I would definitely recommend this rifle for whatever this new map may be, because it definitely seems like there is going to be a focus on waterfowl with it. And before we get too much further into this video, I did want to mention that we will be revealing the winners of the first giveaway for 2 Steam codes for Savannah, Rancho del Arroyo and Tiawaroa. I will be announcing the winners at the end of this video, so stay tuned to the end for that. But let's go ahead and check this right here. So, as you can see, a double lung shot on a blue wildebeest. No heart, no spine, no nothing. Or, actually, apparently we did hit spine, but how? But either way, it dropped it on the spot. It did absolutely amazing. The 9.3 is actually pretty powerful. I do like it. The only thing that holds me back from using this thing more is just my playstyle. I don't really like single shot weapons, but for the purpose of having a rifle that can do everything, it does pretty great. The last thing we will kind of take a look at here before we get into a bit more hunting with it is how you guys can actually change out your ammo types for this rifle. Now, you will be able to put 2 in it at once, as I was talking about earlier. The 9.3 by 74R polymer tips are definitely the bullet I would go with between soft points and poly tips. Poly tips are generally much better to go with because they've got more penetration, so there's a higher chance you'll get the vitals on an animal. And then as far as the round, I'm using the 16 gauge buckshot because if I encounter something like a Springbok or a hare that I want to take down, I want to be able to take it down with whatever I've got in the gun. I don't want to have to fumble around switching the different ammunition types, so set this up for your specific needs. They also have the birdshot as well as the slugs, so we will also use those if possible today. The slugs are actually pretty decent, class 4 to 7, but so that we can cover as many classes as possible, I did opt to go with the buckshot. But if for some reason you want to swap it out and end up coming across a species that is different from what the ammo type you have in there covers, you can just easily swap out the different shotgun loads. So it is a pretty quick and easy way to switch from one range of classes to another range of classes, at least when it comes to the ammo types on what they cover. So it is a pretty amazing and pretty versatile little gun. I do love it. And this guy just changed the time, so let's take out this Gemsbok before it leaves. And I think we hit a hard shot. You know, for a video where I'm trying to show off the power of this thing, we keep hitting, like, vitals, like the heart and the spinal cord, somehow instead of lung shots like I'm going for. Because I really wanted to show off the kill time, but that's kind of hard to do when they just drop on the spot from these heart and spine shots. Jeez, this thing just absolutely dropped like a sack of rocks. My gosh, that is crazy. That is absolutely crazy. So, once again, it was a spine shot, which, you know, I'm actually kind of confused. How are we hitting the spine with these shots? They don't even look like they're close. I'm starting to think there actually might be a bug happening right now where it's counting as a spine shot as well. So that normally does not happen with the drilling rifle. I've never had it do this before. You guys let me know in the comments if this is something that's happened to you, because this is quite odd. Definitely not something I'm used to seeing with the drilling rifle, but you know what? I'll take it. It does take them down quicker. Oh, there we go. If we can get this before it runs off, and of course it did run off before we were able to get the shot off, but I wanted to try and showcase the actual damage this thing can do to just a normal double lung. And honestly, that's a pretty good looking Gemsbok there. We might try to chase it down and take it out, just to give a better idea of what a double lung shot will do. So I found us a couple rabbits, and we are now going to switch over to the birdshot loads. So we'll just hold down R, and now we have switched over to the 16 gauge birdshot. I did swap the buckshot out for birdshot shortly before this, so we will be good to go whenever we find these rabbits. Okay, so we are actually very close now. I just heard it move a little bit. I'm kind of afraid to stand up because I don't want to spook it off, not knowing exactly where it is. But we're going to risk it here because we are a little bit hidden. So we can actually kind of look around without having to worry about it darting off. Oh, there it is. Oh my gosh, we got it. Well, that was a very long stalk, but we did finally take that rabbit down. Now, one thing I do want to point out about the scrub hares is you can only get diamonds. There is no rares for them, so they're kind of a unique species in the fact that there's really not too much to chase after as far as special trophies, so that's one of the reasons I never hunt them. However, this is a really big female here, and the other special thing about them is only the females can make diamond. The males can't, so this was actually a giant female scrub hare, very close to diamond actually. And we got 7 hits in the lumbar vertebrae and the flesh. Not bad. The old 16 gauge birdshot doing great there as we expected to. But it's that on-the-fly versatility that really makes this weapon stand out, and it's one of the reasons why the more I thought about it, the more I realized that this gun is criminally underrated and really needs to be used more for different scenarios, like when you're exploring a new map. Like I was saying, I really feel like this might be my new gun when I'm exploring a brand new map. Most likely I'll still carry whatever the new gun is that comes with each new map that they release, but I will be carrying the drilling rifle from now on. I've got a pretty strong feeling that that's going to be the new norm for me. So now let's go ahead and switch over to the 16 gauge buckshot once again, and we are going to stock up on the Springbok right here. Unfortunately, the only thing that you can use on the drilling rifle that can take out a Springbok is the buckshot because they are a class 3 animal, and the 9.3 round is a classes 5 to 9. So we are going to have to use the buckshot. Little unfortunate, it's going to make it harder to get up close, but it's the small price to pay to have a rifle that can take everything. Now, since I get this question a lot, I'm going to go ahead and answer it since we're stocking up on one. This is not a rare. It is a black-brown Springbok. This is a common, unfortunately. It really does look melanistic, I know, but it's not. It's unfortunately just a normal common or uncommon, depending on who you ask. So we're not really going to worry about it. We're just going to go for something else. All right, well, here goes nothing. The buckshot should be able to do 50 meters, so we're going to test it at 50 meters since it has that zeroing option. To be honest, I don't expect much out of 50 meters, but we'll see. This one's a little bit closer, so maybe that would actually be the better option. And we'll just get both of them while we're at it. I'll be very surprised if that second one actually does connect as good as we need it to. The first one was definitely good. However, the second one, I'm not so sure about. I really don't think that's going to be a good shot, but the first one definitely was, and yeah, that wasn't a good shot at all. That was, yeah. Definitely don't try to take an over 50 meter shot, because it will not end well. However, 40 meters seems to be pretty good. Well, since it's going to give us a shot, let's go ahead and switch over to the 9.3, and that should be a good shot on that lion, provided I guessed that properly. Yeah, it was definitely good, and as you can see, it takes him down pretty quickly, to be honest. It does not do a bad job on lions. Oh my gosh. You know, I can't tell. I think that might be a dark brown, but I could just be seeing things. I'm almost positive that that's a dark brown. We're gonna hope that was a good shot. That looks like a rare. I am almost positive that is a rare lion. And that somehow hit the bush. Okay, we're gonna zero for 150. And we hit the tree again. Oh, that is quite unfortunate. I'm almost positive this is a rare. There we go. We got one more shot into him. Oh my gosh. I think that might be a dark brown lion. I've only killed one of these, and it was a level 5. This guy's also pretty low level, so if it is what I think it is, that's really unfortunate, but at the same time, it could have just been the sun in a weird angle, making him look like he was a dark brown, but we're gonna hope that he was actually a dark brown and not just the sun playing tricks on me. Not gonna lie, I got so excited there at the possibility of this guy being a dark brown that I completely forgot to take a look at the shot on that other lion, but this was definitely just the sun playing tricks on us, but as you can see, did okay. It definitely did decent on them. So for this one right here, we actually are going to try this a bit farther away than what the max zero distance is for the round that we're going to be using. We're going to be trying out the 16 gauge slugs now. It is the last one that we have not used, so let's go ahead and zero for 75 and see how this does. And that hit like a truck, but unfortunately, it doesn't have super high damage. It does kill it off pretty slowly, and it being a slug, it probably only got single lung. So definitely not as good as the 9.3, but for situations where maybe it's a class 4 animal instead of a class 5 or 6 like the wildebeest. I can't remember which one they are, but I know they're not class 4. I'm assuming on class 4 animals it would actually work pretty good. So if we can, we're going to go find a kudu and see how it does on them. Well, time for the moment of truth. Let's go ahead and see what the damage was like on this thing. And yeah, it was a single lung. Definitely not the greatest, but that was from 83 meters. So I'll give it that for 83 meters, which is over the maximum zero distance. It did okay. It got into the lung perfectly fine. And that's really all that we needed right there, since I didn't expect it to kill super quickly. But let's go use this on something a little bit smaller. Well, it seems we just found the server that Flinter was in, and he has it literally at the time that I needed, so that worked out pretty perfectly. Let's go ahead and go over and hunt ourselves a couple kudu. I'm not exactly sure where they are now. I've heard that they're on the coastline. I don't know a whole lot about where on the coastline, so I'm just gonna go down this way and we'll see how things go, or maybe, actually, we might want to go through there. Let's check it. Alright, so we have found ourselves a lesser kudu, and we are going to go ahead and do a shot from over 75 meters just to see how it does. You know, so far it's looking pretty good. I'd definitely say that this is where the slugs will stand out the most, is against an animal where it actually is the proper class range, I guess. Now, wildebeest are within the class range for the slugs, but they are on kind of the higher end of that class range, so I definitely recommend going for class 4s only when you're using the slugs out of this. And that's the only round, or the only class that is not covered by the 9.3, other than obviously the lower classes, but we're not talking about those at the moment. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. That is a right lung hit, so definitely if you're closer and you can get a double lung, it'll do great. I can absolutely see no reason why it wouldn't absolutely destroy anything within 75 meters, so just keep that in mind that at longer ranges it is hard to get double lung. Alright, well I think we are now finally close enough to get a good idea of what you can expect out of most shots from the 16 gauge slug out of the drilling rifle. Let's go ahead and take this out. And yeah, I guess you could say it's kind of a beast when it's up close, as I was saying. Whenever you're farther away, there's definitely a bit of damage drop off and the fact that you only get a single lung. But when you're up close like this, there's absolutely no way that anything in the class 4 class will survive a shot. And that was just made very apparent here. Now, to finish things off, let's go ahead and take a look at things here at the range, because I do want to give you guys an idea of the type of drop you're going to have with each of these rounds. Now, we're going to go ahead and zero for, let's say, 200 meters. I don't think there's too many people that would normally take shots over 200 meters with something like the drilling rifle. So we're going to go with 200 meters. I think this will be a good example of what you can expect bullet drop wise when there's an extra 50 meters in distance. Let's aim as close to the middle as we can. Now there really was not a lot there, and we're gonna go ahead and crank it up to 250 now and see how much of a difference that makes. I'm really curious what the differences will be at each of these ranges, so let's go ahead and try this out now. Now, it had a little bit more drop, but it still was not that insane. Now, we're going to go ahead and crank it all the way up to, let's say, 400 meters. That's about the farthest you can go at any given time, and I'm going to assume that it's going to be very below the middle. Yeah, we didn't even get to see it, so let's go ahead and try aiming right here. So at 400 meters, you can use where the line gets thicker, and it'll hit pretty much right where you're aiming, maybe slightly high, so I'd say that's a good reference point for a 400 meter shot with the 9.3, and that's honestly kind of crazy. Now, as far as the slugs go, you're really not going to be taking any shots longer than 150 meters away, and why does it still say 400? I clearly set it to 100. Okay, I guess it is 100, it's just not updated yet, so let's see what the drop is like. So, to be honest, there's no drop with that extra 25 meters. Let's see at about 150 how much drop there's going to be with the slug. So still not a ton. You can very easily compensate for that and do pretty well. Honestly, I think this is going to be a lot easier to compensate for than I initially thought. And we're not even going to look at the buckshot or the birdshot because we already know what that's going to be. It's not going to be very great at longer ranges. So let's just go ahead and finish this segment of the video and talk about the winners of the giveaway from the 50K celebration highlight video. The first winner of a DLC for the Hunter Call of the Wild on Steam is Andreas Agder. Hopefully I said your name correctly. Let me know which DLC you would like because I have Rancho del Arroyo and Tiawaroa available. So pick between one of those and I will send you the code via Discord. Be sure to join the Discord if you haven't already so that you can receive your DLC. If not, I'm sure we can find another way that I can send it to you. And the second winner is Hunterman. Both of your guys' videos will be made in the future sometime very soon. You guys will see it pop up on the channel probably within the next 2 weeks, so stay tuned for those. But like I said with the last one. Also, let me know which of those DLC you would prefer. Whichever one of you messages me first gets first pick of the 2 DLCs, since neither of you specified which one you would prefer to get, Tiawaroa or Rancho, so just let me know which one of those you guys would actually like, and both your videos will be getting made in the near future. But thank you guys for entering the giveaway. It was great to see a lot of the ideas that you guys had. These were the 2 that I liked the most, and both of them will be in a future video. With that being said, if you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, click that like button, and ring that notification bell so that you guys will never miss any of the future uploads. Also, be sure to leave a comment down below on what you guys enjoyed most about this video and what you think of the drilling rifle. I think it's a pretty underrated gun, and in my opinion, it needs to be used more. But let me know your thoughts, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace!